moving on to baseball. This is one I'm probably going to talk quite a bit here on baseball. So first, starting off, kind of giving a little bit of a breakdown. I was able to go down and cover my first series for Oklahoma this past weekend. Looking forward to many more. If you're at a home game at a home game at all this year, look around for me. Stop me and say hi. Give me a high five or something, whatever. But it's a lot of fun. It is. But I truly enjoy this baseball team so much, and it's something that I realized after this weekend that there's a lot of you guys as Oklahoma fans that are diehard baseball fans that want this team to succeed, and you guys want to see more coverage for this baseball squad. So I want to start this off by saying I'm committing this show to giving the best baseball coverage for the Oklahoma Sooners out there. I want to do everything in my power to make this the home of Oklahoma baseball. You come here to learn and to keep up and to get updates to learn more about the team. We're going to be doing player interviews. We're going to be releasing all the press press conferences with Skip and with the players. We're going to do as much as we possibly can to make this the home for OU baseball. It meant a lot to me that I went out there and I was just trying to do good work and cover for OU Insider. And it meant a lot to me to receive some of the positive feedback that I got from you guys, whether you were a fan of this show beforehand, or if you just followed me on social media and you saw the coverage that I was offering for OU baseball. I got a lot of quite a few responses to the coverage that I was putting out there for OU baseball. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, it means a lot to me that you guys reached out and told me that means something to you, because with that response, it helped me realize OU baseball does not get the coverage that it deserves. OU baseball doesn't really get the love and the support that it deserves. I think it deserves a lot more than, it was a packed house. It was a pretty full house. It wasn't completely packed. It was a full house. I think if memory serves me correctly, I didn't have it pulled up, but 14,000 through this past weekend went to go watch OU baseball. It was a full house for sure, but I think we can do better. That's why I'm doing this giveaway, and I want this giveaway to be big, and I want this to be something that we're able to repeat. If I have to, I'm going to get donors to help out to make sure that we can do these giveaways. If I have to, we're going to reach out to donors and have them make sure that we pack this place. We're going to do giveaways more often. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. And like I said, I'm going to give you guys player interviews and give you a behind the scenes to OU baseball a little bit with learning these players and learning what their interests are and learning who they are off the baseball diamond. And that's something that I don't think you get a whole lot of in college baseball, but specifically here at OU baseball. And so, I've always been a fan of baseball. I played when I was younger. I didn't play through high school. I was too busy with other sports. But I loved playing baseball. I loved playing second base. That was my position, and it was so much fun. But I grew up, and I've always been a sports fan. Baseball wasn't at the top of my list. After the last few years and growing my love of baseball even more, baseball is getting my full attention. If it's baseball season, you're not going to get a whole lot other than baseball coverage from me. So a lot of that just to throw out there and tell you guys, because I think there's a lot of you guys that have been calling out, hey, we want baseball coverage, and some of you guys reached out to me saying, thank you, we need more of this. And so I'm giving it to you. I'm going to give you as much as I possibly can. I'm working with OU baseball to do as much as we can, giving you all kinds of behind the scenes looks and stuff like that. So stay tuned. We're going to do more giveaways. Again, that link is down in the description if you want to win a free ticket to the LSU baseball game, the LSU series at Norman, at L. Mitchell Park, to sit in Section 405. We're looking for the rowdiest fans to sit in Section 405 and make that the party deck. Go over there, fill out that form real quick, and that fill out the form and the link in the description below. That was kind of hard for me to get out. And we will go through those forms, and I'm going to have some help We're going to draw and find the most rowdiest fans, and we're going to put those names in a bucket, and we're going to draw. And I might even do a little bit more fun than that. So stay tuned. We're going to do that giveaway, and we're going to do much more in the future. So, and I want you guys to get the best OU baseball coverage on this show. And I want this channel to be where you go if you want to learn or keep up to date, all that kind of stuff for all your coverage for OU baseball. Obviously, we're still going to cover all the other sports as well, but baseball deserves more love, and we're going to give it to them. But let's go ahead and dive into this series. It was a really fun series. Started off, it was a bummer, but it was such a fun game in Game 1. Mississippi State ended up taking Game 1, pushing the series where they were up 1-0 in the series. They won 2-1 in that first game, and it was just a pitching perfection from Kyson Witherspoon and Pico Khan. Both these guys had amazing games. I'll start off with Pico Khan. I have to give him his flowers because he pitched 6 innings, and it was 6 perfect innings, really, near perfect innings. Pico Khan, the Mississippi State guys in the booth were even kind of talking about, man, I'm surprised that they're putting Pico up on the mound in Game 1. He's not really that Game 1 ace was what I was told. He's a great pitcher, but they were surprised that he was on the mound. And he ended up pitching a beautiful 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits in 6 innings, walked 2 guys, and had 10 strikeouts. 10 strikeouts through 6 innings. It was a masterclass of a performance from Pico Khan. He ended up getting credited with the win. He's 4-0 on the season now. So I'm sure he's going to get a lot more looks. I'm sure they're probably going to try to figure out ways to utilize him like they did against Oklahoma, because he got them off to a hot start and gave that Mississippi State squad a very good feeling about this series. They're on the road. They wanted to quiet the crowd here at the Airedale Mitchell Park, but they weren't able to do that. Anyway, starting off with Game 1, again, a beautiful pitching performance. Kyson Witherspoon, 6.2 innings, only allowed 5 hits, and he did allow 2 runs. He allowed the 2 runs that were on the board. He ended up getting credited with the loss, but it was still a great performance from him. And Mississippi State just played their heart out. Kyson Witherspoon only allowed 1 walk, got 11 strikeouts in this game. It was well worth the nomination. He was on the nominee for the Sooner Spotlight of the Week, and from last I saw, he was not in the lead, but he was a nominee for the Sooner Spotlight of the Week. Again, go over to my X profile and vote for the Sooner Spotlight of the Week. I've still got that running right now because I got it out late today, and then share it as well. But we're going to get back to that and award the Sooner Spotlight of the Week. But Kyson had a great performance, regardless of the loss. He had a great performance. It was really good to see him perform the way that he did. It just wasn't going for Oklahoma. They couldn't connect with anything, and I mentioned this in Game 2 when I went up there and I was getting close and trying to watch the batting practice. And Game 1, I saw the batting practice, didn't think anything of it, didn't really pay a whole lot of attention. But what I noticed in Game 2, when I went up and got closer and was watching batting practice, and I was really paying attention, because Game 1 was just horrific. They needed to connect the bats, and they needed to connect with the ball. And Game 2, I noticed, and I even put this out there, and tweeted this on X, posted on X, whatever you call it now. But it looked like Oklahoma was just connecting with the ball better in batting practice. I don't know if that means anything, and I don't know if that's going to translate over to the game. And I wasn't predicting anything, but I just noticed that they were connecting better. They were controlling the ball better. They were putting it where they were aiming, and the balls weren't, it wasn't taking the ball down on the ground and slapping it down on the ground in batting practice. It was smacking it out to left field, smacking it out to center field, smacking it out to right field, ground left, ground right. And they were doing what it looked like they were trying to do with the ball, and they were just connecting with the ball much better in batting practice. And so I put that out there just as an observation. Take it for what it's worth. But it might have been a good observation, because sure enough, in the first 2 innings, Oklahoma goes up 7-0. Just an electric first couple of innings. 7-0, we were talking about how there's no offense in Game 1. Game 2, Oklahoma comes out there, puts up a touchdown in just 2 innings. Sure enough, Mississippi State was not going to let Oklahoma just rule them or get out ahead and make them think that, hey, we got this game. I don't think that it was anything other than the fact that the field played different each game. It played very much different because of the wind. First night, no wind at all. Second night, it was horrific for the pitchers, and Skip Johnson even said that after the game. I don't know how you're supposed to pitch in this kind of wind and these kind of conditions. Wind was blowing straight. Let's see, in game 2, it was blowing straight out towards left field, kind of right left center, maybe if you want to really be technical with it. But the wind was blowing right out there, straight out to the outfield. So what that means is a pitcher has to really lay into it. And he's got to lay into it, but then on top of that, your accuracy is not going to be on. And then another thing to bring up too, the umpires were just off this entire series for both pitchers. Terrible. Some of the worst officiating I've seen in a baseball game. It was horrible. They were calling a strike in one spot that almost looked more like it really looked like a ball. And then one was closer to the box, and it's even showing up on the tracker too. And it's closer to the box, yet he calls a ball. And it was happening to both pitchers nonstop. So it makes it harder for pitchers. Not only is the wind driving directly at you, and it's going to help the batter if he connects with the ball, but on top of that, when you're trying to figure out where your zones are and where you're allowed to pitch and what's a favorable spot for the umpire, so you can strategize, it's a guessing game. You don't know. You just throw it and hope that he calls a strike. And so it was horrific. It was terrible. Oklahoma was struggling. Really, both pitchers struggling to find the zones, just because the umpires were all over the place. The wind was driving right at them. But Oklahoma got off to a fast offensive start. But Mississippi State in the third inning bounced back with five runs in that inning. Huge performance from them. One thing that you learned in that game, you don't pitch to Ace Reese. Ace was he was on fire. If he connected with that ball, just wave goodbye to it. It's not going to be seen again. If you're sitting in the outfield, you might see it again. But Ace Reese was connecting with that ball and just bombing it and driving in. In that game, he ended up having 5 RBIs in that second game. Crazy. And let's see, he ended up having 2. If memory serves me correctly, 2 home runs in that game. Just dominant. The guy was on fire, and Oklahoma ended up strategizing where they were like, "Hey, we're just going to walk this guy. Let's intentionally throw away from him and just walk him," because that was the best thing to do. Ace Reese, if he was grabbing a hold of the ball, you best believe it was going to be something big. It was big time moments for him, but ultimately it was neck and neck going down to it, down the wire. Sooners led. They were tied, 11-11 at the end of the 7th inning. Going into the 8th inning, it just felt like, man, this is anybody's ball game. It's so much scoring, and even with a couple of scores, you're really not sure. But the momentum went to Oklahoma when, first off, Dylan Crooks comes out there and has a great performance. He ended up getting credited with the win, and Dylan Crooks he was phenomenal. Going on. He only pitched 1.1 innings, but no hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, in just 1.1 innings. So he came out there, and when he's on the field, you just feel like something good's going to happen. And we'll get to that again when we talk about Game 3. But Dylan Crooks comes out there. We got the momentum on our side, and you got a man on base. And Dawson Willis, who's been in a slump. He really hasn't been performing well in the last several games. He's had a couple of good games. I think it's against South Carolina. I think Friday night against South Carolina had a decent game. But overall, Dawson Willis just not having the connections that we know he's capable of. And it was one of those. It's one of those slumps for him. He ended up busting out of that slump with a big time hit. If you were watching it on TV, you didn't get to hear the crowd erupt the way that it erupted in the stadium, and to see the dugout go crazy the way that they did, because the wind was blowing out towards left field. It was blowing outwards. But even if it wasn't, that ball was crushed. Ended up getting caught by the tree out there in left field, just absolutely crushed. And that was a moment too where it felt like things were turning around for Dawson Willis, because even in Game 3, he started to still look like that Game 2 Dawson Willis, where he's doing something. He absolutely deserved a shout out. He was also a nominee for the Sooner Spotlight of the Week. And again, go over to my X profile to vote for that. We'll get to the winner here in just a moment. But yeah, Dawson Willis, huge game from him. Let's see if I can pull up his stats here. He went 3 for 5 in that Game 2, 3 RBIs. He had a couple of stolen bases, I believe, in that game. I think 2. 3. Okay, I just found it here on the stat sheet. He had 3 stolen bases in that game. He was just big. He was huge. Dawson Willis, huge game from him. 3 runs. Also, Trey Gamble came back in Game 2 from an injury. Loved seeing him out there, and he did a really good job too as well. He went out there. I think he had 1 stolen base. He got on base several times. He had himself a couple of hits and scored 2 runs as well. So Trey Gamble, big time game from him. Very excited, very happy for him to be back out there and playing with his guys and performing at a high level. So Oklahoma ended up winning with that big time 2-run home run from Dawson Willis. Ended up winning that game 13-11. 24 runs scored in that game. Just absolutely crazy. That was all the offense that we didn't see from Friday night. We got it all on Saturday night. Game 3, I had to take off early in the morning. Wasn't able to stick around. Beating myself up because that was a quick game. Felt like the innings were just going really quick the entire time. But Oklahoma pretty much owned this game the entire time. They went down 3-2 in the 3rd inning with a 3-run inning from Mississippi State. But ultimately, just again another really good performance from Oklahoma's pitching staff. Their pitching staff did pretty well. Malachi Coleman. Don't know where that came from. Malachi Witherspoon started off really well in this game. Kind of slowed down. Allowed 3 runs. Right? Yeah, he allowed 3 runs. Only 1 earned though, so not on him. There was 3 runs when he was on the field, but was not him. Jason Bowden actually ended up getting credited with the win. Pitched for just 1 inning, but allowed 0 hits, 0 runs, no walks, and a strikeout. And of course, Dylan Crooks ended up closing it, got the save for this one. He's had 7 saves on the season now. He's been pitching really well. That's the closer that we need, especially in SEC play. Dylan Crooks, he's the guy. He's the man. And we'll get to him as well here in just a moment. But Dylan Crooks with just 1.2 innings ended up no hits, no runs, no walks, and had 2 strikeouts as well. So another big time game from him, and the biggest part of his game was a sac bunt RBI. So he sacrificed himself on a bunt, bringing a guy in to score. And the play was awesome. If you didn't get to watch it, and I apologize, I should have had replays and stuff like that to pull up tonight, so you guys don't have to look it back up or anything like that, or try to remember it in your memory bank. But it was a great play. But what was even better was his reaction, the dugout's reaction to it, as he runs over to the dugout and goes over there, and Carly. Why am I drawing a blank on her last name? Carly Murray. Sorry, I was drawing a blank. Carly Murray posted out there that he came back to the dugout saying that's how it's done. That's how it's done, and kept on saying that to his guys. And got out there. Kind of a shocker that he went out to go bat. But this guy can do it all. Pitchers can be something special, and he's one of them. He went out there again, a sacrifice RBI. Sacrifice bunt RBI. It was the play of the game. He deserves player of the game there. We've got to throw him in in that Sooner Spotlight of the Week contention. He's going to make it there. Let's figure it out. Let's see if he has a good game this week, which I'm sure he will, and give him a little shout out there. But he deserves a shout out regardless. Dylan Crooks, he's a team guy. Another guy that you got to throw out there too is Jason Walk. One thing that I recognized getting up and personal with this team and seeing them and how they react to each of their players and how the players react and lead in the dugout and all that. One thing that I noticed getting a little bit closer to this program and to these players, is Jason Walk. He's only a sophomore, if memory serves me correctly. Only a sophomore, and he's playing great. He's been doing really well all season long, above 300 batting average, and just performing outstanding all season long. And he's going to keep on performing well. But he's an aura type of guy. I took a picture of him that was just like, man, like seeing him run around in warm-ups, smile on his face, pumped up, even after the game, good sport, goes over there and finds certain guys I assume he probably knows, but finds guys and goes over there and daps them up, tells them good game. He's a good sport, but with his guys, he's a locker room guy, and you can tell just by seeing how the players respond to him, and how he's received by the dugout. He's the locker room guy. I don't know if he's the locker room guy, but he's definitely one of the locker room guys. He brings an aura about him, and he's just so energetic. Jason Walk is becoming a fan favorite very quickly. Dawson Willis starting to come around as a fan favorite after what he was able to do, specifically in game 2, and seeing his turnaround. He did really well. He even had a hit in game 3 as well. Got himself out there and got a hit, a base hit, but and also brought in an RBI in game 2 as well. Game 3. Game 2 was huge for Dawson Willis, though. That was the game that he needed to get over that slump, to get over the hump and start to play good again. And even Skip Johnson talked about it at the press conference after the game, post game, and just incredible performance from these guys. They end up moving on 19 wins on the season, so they are now, if I can get my screen to stop screwing up on me, 20 wins on the season. I don't know what I'm thinking. 20-3 on the season. They're 4-2 in conference. Amazing team. They've got a tough one coming up. They've got Oral Roberts. This is going to be on the road technically. It's going to be in Tulsa. So Oral Roberts on Tuesday. We're going to make sure that we get something out for that game as well. Get as much coverage as we can for you guys. Again, I want Sooner Spotlight to be the home for college baseball fans. We're still covering all the other sports that we always cover. We're still going to cover football heavy in football season. We're going to cover basketball whenever we can. All this. We're going to do so much more for you guys. I want this to be a place that Sooner fans can come and we can build a community on here, but also, of course, as always, jump over to OUinsider.com today to get signed up over there to become a member of the greatest OU sports fan community. The best way to do it is joining OUinsider.com today. Reach out and see if you can even just get a trial. I'm sure Brandon and Parker would be willing to give you a trial just so you can check it out. I don't want to speak for them, but they're awesome guys, and they want this to be a community as well, a community that you enjoy. So go get signed up with OUinsider.com today. Go over to OUinsider.com, get signed up, and become a member of the greatest OU sports fan community out there.